Your life couldn't have been better. You had aced your Pro Hero classification test in your final year of high school, and had quickly risen into the top 50 of Japanese Pro Hero scene. Things got a little better from there. With your youthful charm, you managed to wiggle the media around your finger, and you enjoyed the attention for all it's worth. This all accumulated to one day when a Pro Hero proposed to you. You had gotten many offers in your life, but when you received them, you hadn't been ready yet. So once you were ready, you grabbed the opportunity with both hands. And by now, you were happily married for about 5 years now. And you couldn't have been happier. Today was a special occasion, having planned a marvelous dinner date within the center of the Tatooine district. You had put out your reservations weeks in advance. You were giddy, bouncing up and down in the limousine, until your husband took your hand to calm you down. He joked about how childishly excited you were for what the thought He joked about how childishly excited you were for what he thought would be a regular candlelight dinner in a fancy-pants restaurant. If only he knew the reason for this. Should you tell him now? Nah. Maybe later. Your husband, Keiko Takami, graciously opened the door for you. My lady, he said. Who would have thought that the pro, known for his lady killer charm, could be such a gentleman? Plus, there were certain perks only you seemed to enjoy. For one, Hawks had tunnel vision whenever he allowed himself to focus on something. This was something you had learned in the early years of your relationship, through a very interesting string of events. After all, at first he seemed really distant, and then suddenly really affectionate, and then he was back to being distant. This had been a strange dance up until 2 years ago, when you finally understood and learned to abuse this weakness of his. His hand tightened as he blushed slightly and looked away. Now it was your turn to tease him. Even after 5 years, you can't look me in the face when we have a quiet moment, huh? He sighed and closed his eyes. I just can't believe I'm so lucky to have you. In response, you leaned against his shoulder. The night was perfect, and it was about to become even better. Finally, you arrived at the many-starred restaurant. It was owned by a food hero, the father of the ever-popular Lunch Rush. His name was Dinner Dash, a man known for his unbelievably great sushi creations. And with a quirk like his, this was all too great. His quirk, Rice Hunter, made it physically impossible for him to create a bad-tasting rice dish, no matter how bad the ingredients were. There was a saying in the culinary world: if Dinner Dash recommended your rice-based meal, you already deserved 2 stars for that. After taking your seats and ordering your appetizers, Hawks finally spoke up, knowing what would happen if he were to act overly emotional in this place. He did his best to stay quiet. So, why are you doing this? He sounded surprisingly accusatory, but he was smiling. It's in celebration for a special occasion. You are smiling too, from ear to ear, in fact. He sighed. Ugh, don't tell me I forgot your birthday again. You shook your head. Your birthday was, in fact, next month, actually. With a warm feeling, you leaned forward, placed your elbows on the table, and rested your hands on your chin. Try another. I love it when you make these little games. You shrugged. Ugh, I just like to see you suffer, is all. Or maybe I just want to see how much common sense you got. He leaned slightly back in his chair, head turning red from the playful insult you were throwing at him. Okay then. Still, though, a feeling of warm happiness overcame him. No matter what it was, you always made him feel like he was the king of the world. Suddenly, a waiter appeared next to you. He looked incredibly professional. Ice cold sake for the gentleman, he said, and set down a small ceramic kettle on a small cup, and a non-alcoholic iced tea for the lady. He set a glass next to your still empty plate. The food will be ready in just a minute. I hope you enjoy your stay. The man bowed and left for the bar. I think I've never seen you drink something that isn't alcoholic. Are you sick? Your husband said jokingly, as you quickly nibbled at your sugary drink. I guess I'm just trying something new, you said jokingly, and blushed. The iced tea tasted fantastic, unlike anything you had drank before. Keigo, on the other hand, was determined to find out why you organized this. Yet each time you simply replied with a hearty no. Trying to throw you off guard, he interjected with a counter-question. By the way, how's the hero life doing to you? By the way, how's your hero life doing? It was super effective. It had thrown you out of your mild, smug thought process. I actually requested a leave for, some time. He raised an eyebrow. Oh. Why? He had unintentionally sounded accusatory. The only time you had ever taken off was when he was really sick, to the point where you thought he'd die. Takami had needed comfort you had been willing to give. After all, he was your husband, and you loved him. He blinked. Wait, are you taking leave because of this unspecified thing? You blushed and then smiled. Yes, he said quietly. Oh my god, after all those years, you finally want to take a vacation. Is that it? Are we going to take a road trip? Oh god, I always wanted to take a road trip. You made a noise similar to a squeak. This was not the reason. Problem was that he took your noise as confirmation. Great, he said and leaned back in his chair. Man, I can't wait. I always wanted to take a road trip with you through the American countryside. Yeah, that sounds nice. We make fun of the Americans for the death of the American dream after Quarks appeared, but hey, they've been steadily rebuilding with the help of the Germans. He laughed loudly. Did you already order the tickets? Your lips quivered. Now that he was so dead set on this, it felt wrong to say no. Excuse me, you said with an embarrassed squeak. Quickly, you rushed into the bathroom. There was only one person who could help you out of this. You hid in one of the stalls and quickly typed up a number on your phone. The number of a mutual friend and hero of yours. Hello? Answered Taishiro, the ever-popular fat gum. Hey, you said helplessly. Fat Gum smiled, but you couldn't see it. How's he taking the news? I haven't told him yet. Oof, was his sarcastic reply. Then why did you call me? This was very important to you. You bit your lower lip. He thinks we're going on vacation. You explained the situation in as little words as possible. Taisho was surprised. Man, that's Keiko, alright? Always thinking about stuff he'd like. So, what do you want from me? Trying to hold back tears of desperation, you simply ask, Can you book us a flight to someplace, America, Europe, whatever, for a road trip really quickly? The man laughed. You're serious, aren't you? Please. You know more about traveling than I do. I mean, you had gotten that sponsorship from Zokov Transnational and traveled for a few months, promoting them. Zokov Transnational was an oil firm operating in Russia. The owner of the company, Zokov, was a huge fan of Japanese hero culture, mostly because Russia had stricter rules for heroes than any other country on the planet. So he often sponsored heroes from there with huge money payouts. Fat Gum shrugged, only to then realize that you couldn't see it. Give me 5 minutes. You blinked. You really gonna do it? I'm doing it. Television goes down next month. Probably gonna get tickets for... He scratched his chin audibly. I'm thinking about my contacts. There's one working at Tokyo Airport. Could probably get you a flight, squeeze you somewhere in. Where should it go? He tapped his foot audibly on the ground. Road trip, you said, right? Yeah, road trip. He made a dramatic pause. I know someone, La Cucaracha, a hero out of Mexico, still owes me a favor. You two are going on a road trip from Mexico. For the countryside, most likely. That's probably what he wants anyways. Pretty calm this time of year. Won't affect you negatively, I'm sure of it. Just don't drink water out of cheap hotels. I hope you enjoy it. You sighed in relief. You're a lifesaver. Just, one more question, he said before you could hang up. You think he'd even go with you after he hears your news? It's fine. It's still early. The man nodded. Okay then. Talk to you later. With a crooked smile, you returned to our table. By now the appetizers in form of miso soup had arrived. Welcome back. Ordered the salmon sushi for you. Salmon was your favorite, so we actually did listen to you about that. Yeah, just had a slight emergency. You sighed. So, where are we going? He said after both of you had taken a few spoonfuls of the delicious miso soup. Next month we're going to the Tokyo airport and the goal is Mexico. Hawks gave you a dumb smile. Lovely. Can't wait for it. Lovely. I can't wait for it. Hawks gave you a dumb smile. You closed your eyes for a moment. Now you needed to think. It wasn't until desserts that Hawks spoke up again. Are you okay? You've been looking very tense, he asked. Yeah, you said, blushing. Just, you've been quiet. If something's wrong, you can tell me. I have more news, you said. Oh. Keiko's eyes widened in surprise. Go ahead. You bit your lower lip. Come on. Hit me. I'm pregnant, you said quickly. For a second, Hawk's movement stopped altogether. And then his mouth twitched. You're serious, he said. You nodded, blushing heavily. I was late this month and I took a test. I didn't know how to tell you, so... We're gonna have a little chicken. What? Did he seriously just make that joke? You could feel him actually waiting to make that one. But then he looked up at his face. It was so bright, so happy. His lips were quivering and tears began to roll down his eyes. I'm gonna be a real cock, he said breathlessly. Please stop joking about that, you said softly. I'm sorry, I just love you, he said as he stood up. Oh God, please don't make a scene. Please don't make a scene. He sighed. I wanted to give us a toast. You looked around in embarrassment. No, it's fine. Please don't do that. Fine, fine, he replied. He proceeded to walk up next to you and kneel down to be on eye level with you. But just let me say this, alright? You are filling my life with so much happiness, and I know I already said this once during our wedding, but you make me the happiest man on earth, and I promise, from the bottom of my heart, I will be the best father I can possibly be. Hawks would never ever allow a cycle of abuse to be created just because his own father had been a monster. The man took one of your hands in his. I love you so much. And I love our little egg, no matter if it's gonna be a boy or a girl. Please stop with the chicken jokes, you said before gently pressing your lips onto his forehead. Hey, thank you for watching my video until the end. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and watch a few more. But before I say goodbye, I'd like to remind you to like the video and subscribe. That really helps the YouTube algorithm. That's all. Hope you have a good day. Until next time. Bye!